Hi, welcome to your February 2025 Vedic Astrology forecast. I'm so excited about February. I want to share with you the top 3 things that are going to really up-level, really skyrocket your love, your romance, and potentially your bank account as well, because this month is all about love and money and forward momentum, getting out of some of that stuck energy that we have been in. Time to get things moving on all accounts. So stay tuned. I'm Prema Gurreri, leading Vedic astrologer and creator of your Sacred Wealth Code, otherwise known as your best kept secret to success. I'm so glad that you're here. So we start the month with Venus in exaltation. So Venus is our great connector. It is the great muse and the artist, and really in Pisces, it's exalted, and it really represents all 3 of these archetypes. And the reason I bring in the archetypes is because it's just makes you understand this energy so much better. You know what an artist is, you know what a connector is, you know what the muse is. So this helps you to have a lot more relatability to the energy as opposed to having to know exactly what the planets are. Venus is at its strongest in Pisces, and it'll be there from January 27th it went there, and it'll be there all the way through the end of May. This is a 4-month stay because it is going to retrograde. Now, the last time, 8 years ago, it retrograded here also, and that was 2017. So I want you to think about what was happening for you in 2017. I'd love to hear in the comments what, as you're listening to this, percolating, okay, what was going on? I actually, at that time in 2017, that is when I published Your Sacred Wealth Code and actually won an award for it as well. So, it was a very creative time for writing for me. What was happening for you? Now, February 1st, there is a conjunction with Venus, with the moon, our great nurturer, and with Rahu, the magician, and also Neptune. So February 1st is this magical day, and it is extra special for romance. It's extra special for creativity, whether you're an artist or not. Like, get into something creative, whether it's going dancing or painting something or rearranging something in your home. Like, do something creative on that day. It's like probably the most romantic day of the year. So if you don't have a date planned for yourself, plan one. And if you don't have a special somebody in your life, take yourself out, or go out with some girlfriends, or go out with some guy friends, and go out and be social, because you never know who you could meet on this day. It's absolutely a very special, magical day. It is not the day to meet someone and then get married the next day, because there could be a little delusion happening with Rahu, with the great magician. But it is very special, where our hearts are going to feel very open during this time. And that's going to be true as far as our hearts being open and just this level of really desiring connection, wanting connection, being able to have more connections throughout the next 4 months. This is also an incredible day for our wealth, for our prosperity, and that will also continue also through the next 4 months. But on this February 1st, with this conjunction going on, it is just, everything is like amplified. It's like turned up into technicolor, into, the volume is up to 10. And so this could be a day where you're bringing in more clients in your business, or they just show up, they come. This is a day where maybe you're making an investment, or you're receiving back on an investment. Maybe you weren't even planning on. Maybe you're buying, a purchase of a luxury item, and maybe you're going to be surprised on how you're going to be blessed financially. But if you do have something specific that you want to launch, or you want to an investment you want to make, a great time to do that, as long as you are not over speculating. Not a time to over speculate, okay? And not a time to an all or nothing kind of a bet. Not the time for that, because the great magician Rahu can really amplify things, and sometimes that makes it a little bit delusional as well. So be social on that day. You never know who you could meet, and who you meet isn't always, it could be something that turns out into an amazing relationship, whether it's a love relationship or a networking type situation, or maybe that leads to a later financial gain, or meeting the love of your life through somebody you meet at a party. Okay, so just trust, be open, and get out and about a bit, okay? Venus is going to be in this position where it's, over this next 4 months, it's transitioning from the evening star it is, and it's just been so brilliant with this whole planetary lineup. I hope you've been out seeing it. And it's going to move from an evening star eventually as it retrogrades, and it'll move into a morning star. So this is the window of time that we are going into. We'll talk to you about the retrograde as that comes and such, but that's not quite in February yet. Venus in general, our great connector, our great muse and artist, really does rule this, like it rules our hearts. It's love, it's this connection, wealth, luxury, finances, and large, big wealth. And so we're going to be playing with this energy, and because it's with a lot of other planets, we're going to have to, it'll be a little tricky at times, but in the first couple weeks of February, it's spectacular. Use it, play with it, let it open you up. Whenever we are connecting from our hearts, and this will really amplify our energy to be able to do that, we have to connect with ourselves. Then we can connect with the source of our being, the divine, God, whatever your word is for that, spirit. And then we want to connect with others from there. What we want to watch out for on the shadow side is being overly attached or codependent in relationships, or even being overly attached to material things. So be aware of that. And if you are connecting with yourself, if you're using your meditation practice, if you are, clearing your energy and the patterns that are in the way, and that you're really sinking in with yourself, and you have that practice, and you're connecting with others through the heart, your channel is going to be pure in that. It's when we get into the past stories and we have the old patterns that come up that think that we're not getting our needs met, and the people pleaser comes out, which is one of the shadow sides of Venus, and where we find ourselves doing things for others that we don't really want to be doing, and then subconsciously we thinking we're going to get what we need from that, but we don't. So we're going to have to watch that energy a little bit, but I do want you to focus and have some good fun with this energy as well. It's definitely an auspicious time. Again, what was happening for you 8 years ago, tune into that. I'd love to hear what that is for you, or just drop me an emoji, drop me a heart, drop me a gem in the comments, in the chat, if this is making sense for you, if you're getting something from this. And we have an aspect from Jupiter. There's an exchange here, but Jupiter, which is our great teacher and our great visionary, is also blessing this placement of Pisces in a planetary exchange. Don't worry about it if you don't understand what that is. But here's the thing. Because of that, it's really adding more light, more grace to this Pisces Aries of the chart. Now, for all of us, that's on a collective level, that's the 12th house. It's the highest house of spirituality. It is a place of endings as well, but it's a place where we are really in this divine connection. It's a very transformational placement. So this is bringing a lot of light, a lot of grace. Wherever you have light, so think about it. If you have a dark room, you can't really see much of what's going on. Maybe you remember where the door and the window is, but you don't exactly know. Turn the lights on and you can see everything, right? So you can make choices better when you can see what's actually happening. So Jupiter's bringing its grace here as well. So, and then our next transit, and the next reason why this is such a powerful month, is Jupiter goes direct. Speaking of Jupiter, again, our great teacher, our great visionary, Jupiter goes direct in Taurus in Vedic astrology on February 4th. Now, it has been retrograde for 4 months. And this has been significant. Now, retrograde isn't terrible. It's where we're traveling back over the path that we've already gone over and seeing things and assessing things and reevaluating so we could make some different decisions as it turns around and goes forward again, because we're going to get to traverse that path again. Now, collectively for all of this is the natural second house of the zodiac, Taurus is, and this is a place of wealth. It's a place of money, finances, value, and also domestic happiness and family in a way. It's a very grounded placement. So there's been a reevaluation collectively, and we're seeing that play out in some ways that have not fully played out yet around, money, currency, what has value, what doesn't have value. And so we're going to see that for ourselves. And how do we want to move forward with what is really of value to us? And how do we want to create more value within our own lives and within our own bank accounts? It is going to affect our self-esteem, our confidence, our domestic happiness for the better. It's been kind of a slog the last few months, and Jupiter turning around and going direct is going to start to be able to put some of this stuff in motion, bring things into more of a positive light. And that translates to making things easier and more in flow for you. But Jupiter always wants us to be moving from knowledge and wisdom. So the wisdom that we've learned from the things that we've gone through, or I'd say the knowledge that we've learned from the things that we've gone through, when we come and apply that knowledge to doing things differently in the future, that's applying our wisdom. And that's what really Jupiter's asking us to do. Like, let's bring knowledge, let's bring higher knowledge. Let's move from truth. Let's move from universal principles, and let's bring that down to earth. And how can that really look in your life, in your home, your family, in your bank account? And then collectively for all of us, how can we do that from a higher perspective instead of a lower 3D perspective where everyone maybe is just looking out for themselves? This is about looking out for the collective, but also what is our part in that? And look, if you are wealthy, if you are happy, and wealth is everything you need to fulfill your purpose, and if you are content, and if you are happy, if you're doing what you really want to be doing, if you're investing where it makes most sense for you, and you're uplifted by that, you are uplifting the collective by doing that. So that's why being on purpose, being in your gifts, and really attending to creating a wealthy life on your own terms is so very important. And that is what I teach in all of my programs, whether you come into the Sacred Wealth Collective, which is my membership program where we're really showing up and shining. This is a place for really purpose-driven individuals to really get a handle on their high value gifts and how they express them and be seen for them in the world. Whether you come into my mastermind, as we're really building a business with all of that, or private mentorship, or you want to come in for a reading so I can help you to understand all of this and what it means for you personally. My links are all down below in the description of this video for any of my services, and the healing work, of course, we do on the full moon in the full moon healing circle. So this Jupiter turning direct on the 4th of February is really going to bring some grace and really be fabulous for all of us. Mercury is going to transit Aquarius from February 11th to the 27th. Now, Mercury is our great communicator, and Mercury has been in Capricorn until the 11th, and it has really been helping us to get a plan for the year and put it in place and get a little bit serious and committed about that. I talked about that a lot in the new moon forecast for January 29th. So you can refer back to that video if you'd like to know more about that. But as we come into Mercury in Aquarius, Aquarius is the sign of, it's a humanitarian sign. If you have your Sacred Wealth Code and it has the word humanitarian before the archetype, then that means that it's in Aquarius, because Aquarius is looking out for the greater ideal for humanity, not just the individual one. It's the sign that's across from Leo. Leo is more about us individually, and Aquarius is about the collective and our higher ideals that we carry for it. So this is a place where we want to communicate and network about our ideas, share our ideas, and do it in a practical way. Saturn owns this sign. We want to be with community, and you're gonna see that you'll have opportunities to do that. And of course, we've got these other great transits going on during this time. So get out and socialize. Go to networking events. Say yes when people ask you. Even if it's not something you would normally do. Again, you never know who you're going to meet. We have a personal purpose, and we have a social purpose. And that means that there's people that we need to connect with that our purpose is similar enough, or it works in harmony with someone else's purpose to make a greater purpose and a greater whole. So this is a really good transit for you to, again, communicate your ideas, express yourself, share with others, and, allow your passion to come out, because this is also a place, Aquarius is, where we're called to be in our authenticity. Now, I believe that we are called to be, that's a big part of our purpose, is to be authentic, be who we are, be expressed with all of our authenticity, which is evolving over time as we get to know ourselves. And that is one of the reasons why I am passionate about helping you to understand who you are, how you're wired up, what your purpose is, what your gifts are, because then you can animate your light. You can be of greater service, but you also can create greater wealth and happiness and love for yourself. All of those things, the more that you know that. Aquarius, where Saturn owns this placement, and Saturn has been here for the last 2.5 years, and it's just about to move at the end of March. I'll talk to you about that in March, but this is a huge transit that's happening. But meanwhile, Saturn's just at the very end of this placement. And because of that, it's very, very strong for giving its full gifts here of what is the difference you're going to make collectively. And it doesn't mean by the end of March we have to we got to make that difference. But it means that it's a really beautiful time to have a real system, to have a pathway, to be grounded and committed to that, and have more awareness of what it is, and be grounded in actually moving forward to do that. And that's going to take being connected with others and sharing our ideas and listening to others, and see where our different puzzle pieces of purpose, where we fit each other and we can lift each other up. The sun will transit into Aquarius, the same place I've been talking about, Aquarius, on February 12th. Now, Sun is going to be here with Saturn. And of course, the sun is our great leader, which I have here somewhere. And it's also the king. And when the sun comes to Aquarius, the sun is our soul, but it also rules the natural fifth house of the zodiac, which is the mind and our creativity. It's a very creative placement. But Saturn and the sun will combust at this time. So we could see some power struggles here. It's a time to really be a good listener. So we're really talking about mid-February to mid-March. And we might see some power struggles collectively, but you don't have to be in those power struggles personally. Now, this does hit you in a particular area of your chart. All these transits do. So I'm talking about how they are collectively. So listen there. If you know your chart and this more deeper, you can translate it to the house that you know. Okay, well, that's my 7th house. That's my 5th house. And if you want to know all that, then you want to either you want to come in and get a reading from me so that I can decode all of this for you. You can get the free chart calculator that's in the description of this forecast video to get your Vedic astrology chart. This place is, again, authenticity and leadership. So I encourage you just to really step into your leadership. How can you be a little bit more humble, and how can you be more of service? Those are 2 questions to ask yourself. How can I be a greater service, and how can I actually be humble about it? And just watch out for maybe some reactivity. Watch out on social media. And the other thing is Saturn always brings a level of seriousness, because Saturn wants us to be on purpose and do what we're here to do. And remember that the spiritual world is more important than the physical world, but we need to show up with integrity in the physical world. So sometimes that can feel heavy or serious. So bring some levity into it, okay? Let's not take things too terribly serious. And so that's where we want to bring in, be humble, but also be in your authentic expression. We have a full moon in Cancer on, it's on February 12th. So if you notice, we have Mercury moving, the sun moves, and then with the full moon, that's all on the 11th and 12th. So a lot happening right in the middle of the month. It'll be at 29 point something. It's almost 30 degrees right on the edge of Cancer and Leo. We've had several full moons at this 29-degree mark. And they are here until we get to April. This is just about endings. It's about closure. It's like maturity. And what do we need to close? What do we need to end before we step into what is new? So think of it as, let's use the word completions. Like this is bringing in things coming into completion. And when something is come to completion, sometimes there's the natural next step, and sometimes we're just moving beyond that. So we've been going through this in these full moons. I will do a full moon healing circle. I will also do a full moon update for you when we get to the middle of the month here. But it really sets us up for what is next. And the other thing we do want to be aware of, is that because this is at a Gandanta point, that's where the water sign turns into a fire sign, that there could be some intense weather at this particular period of time. So just want to drop that in. So I'll do a full update on that. Okay, very, very exciting transit that we have. Very excited about this. Mars is finally going to go direct on February 23rd. It's very much the honorable warrior, but it's also the strategist, and especially the strategist in this placement, Gemini. And so this is where Mars has been hanging out for a while, and we want to just watch the dates right around the February 22nd, 23rd, 24th, when a planet is stationing. It's in turning direct or turning retrograde. It's a little bit wonky during that time, okay? But have you been feeling like the energy has been dragging? I know I have. And we're with Jupiter going direct and Venus moving into this great placement, that's all moving in the right direction. But that sort of productivity, like that fire under your ass, like let's get her done, that energy is finally going to turn around. And we'll start to feel that getting some forward momentum. This is media, ideas, the way we think. This is Gemini. And so communication, this is very much the energy of the communicator. Travel as well. So this can potentially, you just want to watch out around the retrograde when it switches around arguments and such. But we're going to finally be able to get productive, move forward on the strategist's plan, on all the ideas that you've been having. Those are going to start, you're going to feel like, okay, you can get some forward momentum and you can get some passion behind it, because Mars is either passionate or pissy. And it's been kind of frustrated and pissy. And especially if you are an Aries or Scorpio ascendant or moon, this has affected you even more so, or you're running your Mars Mahadasha, your Mars cycle. So this is great. This is fabulous. We'll get some forward momentum going. Things will be less emotionally frustrating. And so we're going to just still take a chill pill until that period of time and do whatever you can to be in your passion. Mars always requires us to be grounded and physically embodied, and that means exercise, yoga, martial arts, lifting weights, running, whatever it is for you. Mars needs to sweat to take off that extra energy and find what brings you into your passion and do it. Mars is a do it planet. Get her done, okay? And even if we can't move forward with a particular plan, we absolutely can move forward with things like our personal practices and exercise. Yay for Mars. Okay. We have a new moon in Aquarius in Shadabishak Nakshatra, and that is going to be on February 27th at 15 degrees. This is this is a sacred new moon, new beginning. It's the sun, moon, Saturn, and Mercury are all going to be in Aquarius. I talked about how that plays out earlier in this February monthly forecast. This is the place of 100 healers, the sky watchers. This is where my moon is in my chart. And it gives us a lot of visionary power, innovation. So you can innovate what it is that you're working on. Innovate some project in your business, in your life, in your career, even innovation within yourself. It's a very beautiful place for healing, for new beginnings, friendships even. networking and collaborations like we talked about for Aquarius, and really actualizing our dreams. It's where we can make a new commitment to our soul purpose. Remember, on new moons, we're always starting a new cycle. So this can be a new commitment to and a new cycle for our soul purpose. I will bring you an update for the new moon, but this will be this is a really auspicious sacred new moon. And at the end of the month, we have Mercury transiting into Pisces. Now, that's happening on the 27th, and Mercury is going to be here until May 6th. So we'll have Venus, the great connector, and the communicator hanging out together in Pisces. And I talked about Pisces a lot at the beginning of the forecast for the planet of Venus, our great connector. Mercury and Venus will both retrograde in this placement. Those dates will be in March. Mercury won't retrograde until the 15th of March. And so they're strong when they retrograde. They're going to spend a long time in Pisces. We're all going to be continuing our journey into this Pisces energy, which is very transformational. With Mercury, it's thinking out of the box. It's spiritual by nature. It's energetic. It's a place, though, of emotions, too, and we're going to need to manage our emotions so our emotions don't manage us. I have a whole training in my program around this, because this is the place of empaths, and I have a lot of empaths that I work with, and you may very well be an empath. That means you feel a lot of things and you feel other people's things, and it's important to know what's yours and not yours. So really, I want to say until the end of May, we're going to have a lot of this empath energy up, a lot of feeling energy up, and because of that, you are going to want to stay very grounded and be more in choosing how you want to feel, instead of just getting pulled around by the different collective feelings around you. And that does take meditation. That takes quiet, where you're not just inputting so much information. It also takes you being grounded in your body. Embodiment is incredibly important, paying attention to your purpose. And that's one of the reasons why I teach the Sacred Wealth Code, because if you are using your gifts, you are on purpose. You are on your purpose and prosperity by using your highest value gifts. And this keeps things in alignment. I would love to hear your biggest takeaway. Please leave me a comment, leave me a heart, leave me a gem if this is resonating for you. And I really look forward to being with you next month. If you would like to dive deeper into all this, please book a reading with me. My links are down below, and you can understand how all this energy can most benefit you and what you need to watch out for to make this 2025 really the best year ever for you. All right, so much love to you.